Hello everyone, welcome back to the GG Gamer, and sorry for being away for a while. After Christmas, a few things to catch up on, and had my birthday, and a few other bits and pieces. So sorry I've been away for a while. So I thought I'd come back today with a game I've been playing over Christmas. It's called Timberborn. Now I've shown you some other videos like Surviving Mars, like City Builders, and this is another one, and it's a really unique take on that city building kind of genre. So as you can probably see on the screen, it's all about beavers. So you build this entire city, with essentially beavers, and it's a really cool, fun, innovative game to try. And it's so well thought out. I think it's still in early access, but it's they've really put a lot of work into it. So this is what I've built so far, and the main aim of the game really is to sort of expand. I mean, you get kind of resources and sort of things that you can only do once you've expanded a bit. So the resources you need in this game, obviously water is one of them. You actually need to keep your beavers watered and fed. So water is the main one, so you get these kind of pumping stations in. These draw water up, and then you can sort of store it as well in sort of these kind of containers. The other resource that I suppose your beavers need is food. So as you can grow it, you can plant things and harvest them, which is quite crucial. Then sort of more complex resources come in, so you can also harvest wood from these sort of growing these trees, and it varies which tree you grow, sort of what resources you get. So, some give resin, some give more logs than others, but take longer to grow, so it's really well thought out. Then once you got the wood, you can then sort of split it down into things, sort of planks, gears, to build more sort of complex, things, which is just, it takes a while, to sort of build up these resources when you get to the really big end of game things. Then you sort of get to power. So these sort of buildings, whatever they create, they need power to do it. So one of them makes planks, one of them makes gears, another one makes metal, but they need a power source to sort of drive that stuff. And then, as well as food, you also got this building which will turn food into sort of flour, grind it down. So the water, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward that it powers your machines and also provides drinking water. But a mechanic you have is a drought, and sort of that's what's about to happen. You can see it flashing. Just let this water through. So that's why it's flashing. Every so often a drought comes through, and when you don't have water flowing, all your crops start to die because obviously they're not watered. Your machines don't do anything because they're unpowered, and it's just, you have to survive them. So you have to store water, store enough resources while these machines don't work, to be able to survive the flood. For me, I've managed to sort of contain it in this sort of canal here, and I've managed to sort of survive most of the floods. The floods get incrementally harder the further into the game you get. So another cool mechanic this game has, it splits into districts. So this was my sort of first, where I started off my base, and you can see the sort of boundaries of it. But if you notice, the further away you get from the centre, the city district, it takes longer for the beavers to get there, and you have to sort of plan around that. And then if it gets too far, like where it's in the red, you then have to create a new district, like I've got here, so district centre. And this is how you sort of gradually expand. But like each district needs its own water supply, food, logs and planks, and sort of the ability to get resources. I mean, you can transfer them back and forth, but they're not as quick. They need to be able to survive independently. So this is where I'm going next. So I've just come out here. I've created a new town centre here because I want to exploit this mine. This is a metal This is where you get metal from. I mean, these are ruins, but they're finite, so eventually they'll go. But if I expand across here, I can exploit this mine, and you know, I think that's pretty 45. So there's other scrap mines dotted around the map, but you need to expand to be able to get them. The other thing you need to sort of consider as well is storage and housing. So you get these massive kind of storage centers that, you know, hold 1,000, but you know, after a while you just need to keep building more log piles. You know, obviously you're harvesting a lot of logs, and then they need to go on here as well. And housing is the next issue. So obviously as you grow your population, they need to be housed, and you know, you need to sort of build these in time, you know, otherwise they become homeless, they get cold, and you need to sort of plan that into it. So this is all housing and storage just here, all this. So if you look up here, I've got, you know, just under 1,200 logs, and this is all the food as well, just steel and that. Another sort of technically a resource is sort of like science points, so it's like research essentially. So if you go down here, these are what create science, but you use science to, if you look at the bottom here, the red number 400, 700, the science points unlocks these new buildings. So, you know, to progress in the game, get better and more complicated machines, you need to do research science points as well. These are all the tabs. The landscaping is pretty cool. So that's if you block the water, you can either block it completely, you can put a floodgate in, or just something that sort of half stands it. And then pattern structures are really cool. So all this, you know, kind of wooden stairs and platforms, it's all the kind of landscaping bit. And the idea sometimes is to build vertically upwards rather than out, save space, because you have to compete. Sort of the green land bits are fertile that you can grow either logs or, you know, crops on, and then this grey bit is infertile land that you should really sort of, you know, housing and storage be built on. Hunger is another one you have to sort of, you know, be careful of. Like you can see this one going around here that had a yellow marker above it, it means they're hungry. But if you've got enough of these, the bakeries, so the process is they harvest the food here as well. It goes either into a grill, so like the grill things like potatoes, or you can put it into like the grits mill, which grinds it down into flour, and then you can go you can send it to the bakery, into bread or, you know, pasties or something like that. These are the farmhouses, so these are the things that sort of plant the crops and then harvest them and then keep recycling it. And I'll show you a forester station, which is here, and this sort of plants the trees. So there's, you know, those two distinctions. These the sort of researching science points, so it's every 3 hours. But I've got this as well, the observatory, which gives 10 every 1.6, so, you know, pretty sorted for that. These are the pumping stations, like I said, they bring up water. You can also have aquatic farmhouses that sort of grow it in the water, you know, which is a cool new dynamic. So I'm going to leave the video there for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.